Hey everybody, Brian from the Tone Jerks Podcast here. This is a bonus episode that we recorded a little while back with our buddy Co Schneider from One Day and the Flippin Flippers Podcast. This is where I drunkenly explained to him about the Evertune Bridge and all its glory. So enjoy this episode, and you can enjoy more episodes like this if you head over to our Patreon. And that's patreon.com/thetonejerks. And for $2 a month, you get to enjoy an extra episode every week. A bonus episode like this one. So we will see you next time, and enjoy the episode.
Mike's on this.
Okay, yeah, so with Evertune, one of the reasons why I dug it so much is because it's such a... The biggest thing is in being a three-piece band, and I play a lot of open chords, every string is vital to the sound of what I'm going for, because I'm playing so many... even if I'm doing open strings, they're pretty vital to what I'm playing. Mm-hmm. And if they're out of tune a little bit, you're out of whack. And I sing based on chords too, and I base my vocal patterns on that. So when they're out of tune, and dusty, apparently that's a thing for you. So you can see how much of the body is cut out of the Evertune. So it's a lot, but it's let me see that. It's a lot actually. And like there's not sustained because I guess I don't know, maybe for my style too, I'm running, high gain. I'm running, if I'm putting pedals, pushing amps or whatever, it's not that big a deal for me. And I'm like, how long are you trying to hold a note for? Like seriously. Yeah. In a song, I'm like, how long are you holding a note for? A couple bars maybe? So you're like, oh, there's no sustain or whatever. I'm like, and even if you sustain a guitar, like a track or whatever on a song, you're doing a fade on it anyways on the waveform. So who cares? And I haven't noticed anything wrong with it. The only thing that I've actually noticed wrong with, like, not wrong, but different with an Evertune is it's a little tighter. So
like the tension?
The tension is a little tighter. So you're fighting the guitar a little bit more, which to me is not a problem. Because I have such a bad playing style that I'm playing so forcefully on both hands. So I'm always used to fighting the guitar, thus probably throwing it out of tune to begin with. But
and if you talk to your string guy, whoever your string guy is,
like
about that,
I don't have a string guy. Do people have string guys? What's a string guy?
Some people have guys that make their strings for them. Yeah.
I don't have a string guy.
Okay.
But,
we'll get you a string guy.
I do. I just do Ernie balls because they're like $3.
They're cheap.
And
and
guess what?
Always the sound the same.
And you can just grab like a 12-pack, and guess what? When you play a show, cut the old piece of crap off, put the new ones on. There you go. Yep. And I don't know. I mean, I've heard of like boutique strings or good strings and String Joys.
We don't need to go about that.
And they're cool, and I want to try them, but the thing is, I'm like, I'm not the player that like is for that. I don't think. Yeah, because I change them so quickly. Because I'm like, we'll play a show, and then a month later, I'm like, guess what? Snip, 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 cut them off. I haven't broken strings in a long time. I only change them because I want them to be, cleaner, a little snappier, and maybe no blood on them. So whatever is the reason is what I do.
The important things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean. So looking at this Evertune, like I noticed it earlier before we started doing all this too. The only thing about it that like would concern me is like the movement on it. Mm-hmm. And I understand that's part of the function, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what helps keep it in tension. But does that affect your bends? Have you noticed that?
I'm not a bendy guy for one thing. I'm not bends a lot.
So I like to see how far I can bend strings. So
yeah, and honestly, what it's cool is maybe we can do like a quick recording. You can bend it to where
like Beckham, right?
Like it can't keep up.
You can bend it to like Beckham to where you can actually set the tension at your tuner keys set the tension to whether basically you can set it to where either it'll bend notes or not. So
that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
go on. Keep going. I'm listening. I'm intrigued. That's real good listening.
Hold on.
That looks
you,
frustrating.
you can look at it and you can see how I can set it to where it won't bend.
You've bent. So you just
I'll
you just tuned down your top E.
but it's still in tune.
Right. You just tuned it down. Like I saw you turn that thing
Yeah.
up like at
So-
least 2 whole turns, right?
Yeah.
And then you went to bend it,
We will do a quick.
and you pulled that top string down
Well,
to about the 3rd string,
I'm gonna bend it to the 3rd.
and there was no difference. That would be frustrating as hell.
Well, the thing is, but if you're like, if you're like, like Johnny Ramoning that shit out of,
yeah.
it's cool for certain, applications. But for me, I kind of always get them to where you can bend it, you can tune it out of tune or whatever to like.
Well,
There's like basically like 3 levels of an Evertune. There's the in tune section,
mhm.
like say if you're like twisting the note in key or whatever, and then there's the the threshold of getting it too sharp, and then you're going to get it into the next level of like whatever next tuning you're going to be in, like say like E to D sharp or whatever, or F. Duh. too many bruchachos for it. Or you can get it from E and you down tune it too much and it'll go to E flat or whatever.
Okay.
D sharp. That's the
There's
one.
no sharp notes on guitar.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. There's no flat notes
so-
on guitar.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Something like that. One of those two. There's either no sharps or no flats. I don't know. It's a music
I think
theory
we
thing.
we do like I guess
We're
we.
not on bass.
That's a
cares?
guitar, bro.
What? Oh
Okay,
yeah, that one. That one's hot.
now
Yeah.
I'm live.
You're co now.
Yeah, I'll be co.
on my waveform here. You're
We've traded spots
That's
now.
fine.
okay.
I'm
so,
okay with that.
With the way that this is, so you have basically a threshold. So you have like you're in tune, you're flat, and you're sharp.
Okay.
And when you get it, you want to get it to sharp if you want to start bending your notes. So okay.
So you want to get it so it's built in so that there's a certain tension threshold is what
there's
you're saying?
like a certain threshold. So
Okay.
if you can see, like you can maybe like hear.
I'm like trying to understand physics right now. That's really difficult.
So you can hear like
I hate physics.
so how it's not changing pitch as I'm tuning it,
yeah. Right.
but as soon as I get it to it'll start bending up as I'm tuning it to sharp.
Okay.
So now I'm able to.
That's at the end of the travel on the spring, then, right?
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, if I bring it back,
Now you have more tolerance.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's a super simple thing, but it works for some people, and I could totally see how this doesn't work for everyone because I'm like everybody's like, 1, I don't want to butcher my guitar. 2, that doesn't
Just
work
tune
for
it,
me.
Well,
bro.
I was, while you're playing around with the pedals and stuff, I noticed you reaching up and twisting the tuners
Yeah.
while you're playing and it not doing anything to the sound, but you were obviously adjusting your tension.
Yeah, I'm at a different point where with the Evertune guitars, I know what I'm doing with my like headstock tuners
Mm-hmm.
because I know if like I want this string to now bend to pitch. I'm like, or bend, or I want it not to go out of tune.
Yeah.
I usually will keep my 6th and 1st string. I get them to where they won't bend out of tune because when I
Okay.
play live, those are usually the ones that I'm banging on first. I'm even hitting down harder
yeah.
because I'm like, really either jumping down. I have a point where like sometimes I hit,
Or you're doing
on the 2 and 4s or one, whatever, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm hitting down, and I'm like, I'm basically like hitting down with my whole body, just like slamming on the first or on the 6th string. So I'm like, I don't want that to bend out of tune. It would be like hitting your power chord, you jump on it,
Yeah.
and but I want that to be in tune.
Or you're doing your ska thing and you're picking
Yeah.
up, picking up, picking up, picking up. Yeah.
That'll probably be for Kyle's band.
Yeah. No.
Ska, that's
No,
going to be a topic
not at
for a
all.
different day. Hey, no.
God.
Hey, no. That's
If
not-
I was like squirrel nut zippers, that's cool.
Yeah, no.
That's only like horn
They
section.
were like big band, like right.
Yeah, that's it. Can't listen to the ska shit.
I don't know. There's like some ska songs I can listen to. Anyway,
Yeah.
but the way I have this, it's like it's not for everybody, and I totally understand why people are like naysayers and or like you ruin your guitar because you do. Because guess what? There's no resale value in this thing anymore. One because
Only
of
to people who want an Evertune.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think that those people also have to realize what you're going for.
and the
You're making your tool,
Yeah.
right? You're making it more of a tool.
for the tool.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is me.
Tool of the third power.
Who's gonna? Because there's not gonna be a lot of people who want pink Les Paul Jr. with the anime stickers and shit and stars
blood
and
and-
blood and
4 pounds
and-
of wood taken out of the backside.
yeah, all over it.
I mean,
But
to each his own.
to me, it is a cool thing that it's like I am like maybe an evangelist for it because it's like I want to tell everybody about how cool these Evertunes are. If
Yeah,
they're
and
right for you.
I don't know anybody else that talks about them. So
Because they're really big in the metal scene. Like
okay.
Devin Townsend, Ola England, and like Fluff and Rob Chapman are the only ones who talk about Evertune because it's like they're not big in a lot of other scenes because everybody's like they're starting to come up in like pop punk like MXPX.
Is Tom using Evertunes?
Mike Herrera has one that he kind of like lets the touring guitarist.
Oh,
use.
their second guitarist.
The second guitarist uses one.
Is he the guitarist for Tumble Down? Do you guys know?
I don't think so. He was guitarist for another Washington band that we
90 Pound Wuss?
No,
No.
they're I can't remember their name. Chris something that I'm like I follow him on Instagram, so
Okay.
I feel bad. I remiss
It's all right.
to not know his band's name because
You're a
we've played
terrible
with them.
person. Go on.
We've played with them when they were down here in San Diego playing a crap bar.
Oh.
But I don't remember I bought a CD, but I don't remember the brand name.
Some 41's coming to town, by the way.
I know that's pretty damn cool. But they're starting to come up, but they're not a big company. They make them all like in house in Los Angeles, I believe. So they're a smaller company and they're
Okay.
trying to make it big. Or I mean, they're doing whatever they're doing and they're doing a good job.
I mean, they probably understand their niche.
Yeah, that people, because people are like, oh, people like them in math rock. I'm like, well, because they're like people in math rock like it because they want to be in tune. I'm like, who doesn't want to be in tune?
Yeah, right.
They got to be doing pretty well because they're in signature guitars.
Yeah,
now.
they're in Devin Townsend's
Devin
guitar.
Townsend's got his signature coming from Germany.
Yeah.
Framus.
Framos.
Yeah. It was really cool. And so to me,
Yeah.
I really love Evertune. They're working on like I think version number 2 or Evertune 2.0. Whenever that comes out, I don't mean it's hard. I think the only thing is they're going to try and work on is making it smaller so it takes less wood out of the body.
Yeah.
And that's really all you can really do for this because it works and for what it does. And if you really need that, like me, it works. Like I was even telling Kyle, I'm like, oh, do you throw the guitars that I've given him? Do you throw those out of tune a lot? No, he doesn't. It's just me. It's my heavy-handed playing. I've learned how to play guitar the really bad way.
Mhm.
Like I didn't know.
Yeah, same here.
I didn't know how to play guitar, so I
Punk
basically like played everything like with like a heavy-handed right hand and heavy-handed left hand, and
Yeah.
they're both like throw guitars out of whack.
It's
So,
a drum with strings.
yeah. So that's how I've learned. I'm like, okay, and now I'm trying to get into like, let me learn my blues pentatonic licks. I'm just gonna bend the hell out of this neck and do it. And so it's it's taking its toll on my tuning. And when we do live, I'm like, I cannot. I mean, obviously, yes, I can tune after every song or tune in the middle of a song.
Right.
But
then you got to banter.
I know how to do that, and I can roll the volume
You
down.
don't want to hear his banter though.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And so to me, it's just like if you can like throw a couple shekels some way and like relieve a problem, just do it. Because guess what? I've never had a problem with my guitar ever since I ever tuned it. And live, and I'm really don't want to break a string
Yeah.
and have to play a guitar that doesn't have it. So I always try to bring 2 guitars with the Evertunes. So my backup is an SG with an Evertune, and my main guitar is a Les Paul with an Evertune, and hopefully we'll change that eventually, and we'll get Equits with an Evertune.
Yeah. Well, so So looking at it, it
Yes.
doesn't seem that much bulkier than a stop tailpiece.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of stop tailpiece myself, honestly. But it looks like it's probably takes up about the same amount of real estate when you're like going at it.
As like,
So I'd be interested to see it like the T-style one that you were telling me about on a Telecaster and see how it feels compared to like an ashtray.
yeah.
bridge.
It doesn't look much bigger than a Telecaster. Like when you put this on, like like a Les Paul that has like the normal. What the hell is that called? Is that a Tune-o-matic style? Yeah, with the 2-piece and style bridge. It doesn't look that much. Oh no, I take it back. It looks completely different, and it adds so much more like bleh to it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I never really look at when I look at a guitar. And a lot of people look at it like at my guitar. I'm like, oh, why do you use a Floyd Rose on your guitar? Like, do you use a lot of dive bombs? I'm like, well, actually, it's an Evertune, and it keeps my guitar in tune by the tension. I'm like, okay, we're done here with you, bro. When I explain to him what it is,
I mean, it's not the look of it because a bridge is a bridge. I find there's not a lot of bridges that look good to me.
Yeah.
Like that they're a necessity on the guitar, but the depth of it is the part like that I'm thinking of, like how far it sticks off the body.
Yeah.
Is the part that to me I could see being an issue, but on a Gibson style that's already an issue for me.
Yeah.
So
I guess
it's like 3/4 of an inch tall. That's pretty tall.
it's more than that.
Yeah.
Do you think so? Maybe
Well,
an
I mean,
inch?
You got a tape measure handy?
it's
we're in a
definitely like
garage.
I think it's over. It's definitely over an inch taller from the body,
Yeah.
and it doesn't ever bug me just of my playing style.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to putting my hand, like I know, like from Strats, from Jazz Masters, from Les Pauls to Tellys, like I know, I can kind of feel where my hand's going to need to go for palm muting and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
anything that you got your hands on all the time, you're going to get used to.
Yeah. And, I think you can get used to it. And that's the biggest thing is like with Evertunes is like, it does take a little bit more to bend.
Yeah.
And so people who are like really light-handed, you could probably go from like 10s. You could probably go to 9s because guess what? They're not going to go out of tune. When you set it correctly, you set it to pitch and intonation, it's not going to go out of tune.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too with these. I can keep the same set of strings on here and it's going to stay in tune. And like that's why I kind of one reason why I stick with like purple power slinkies, because it's like I've already set the tension here.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put new strings on, cut them all off, string them on, get them to tension, done.
Yeah.
I don't need to be like, let me tune it, let me tweak. I've tried like messing with different string gauges, and that you'll have to set your tuning again to kind of match your intonation. And for me, I like to set my string height and intonation every time. Like I put new style of string on.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm doing like, I was trying 10 to 52s. I might try that again because I want to do. I've been finding more and more that I'm playing with heavier picks that my like first 3 strings are getting like very rubber bandy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like even though they're 48s and 11s, like they're kind of flubbing around everywhere. But I'm doing a little bit more as far as lead work goes on my higher strings. I'm like, oh, let me try 10 to 52s, and that's kind of what they're meant for. It's like, okay, chugging around on the lower strings and wheedly diddlies on the higher strings. So we'll see how that goes. But the thing is, it's as easy as like just taking a couple minutes, and you're gonna have to set intonation when you do a new set of strings on a regular guitar anyway.
Yeah,
so.
whenever you're changing gauges.
So if you're, I don't know, if you're used to like, okay, hey, I'm doing like my flipping around on 10s, and I'm like, oh, I'm used to doing it, with that, my bends and my shit with those or whatever. If you try doing those with 9s, you might feel more at home. Because that's what I've mentioned on like different forums that I'm in. Like, oh, what are your apprehensions? I'm like, that's really the only one. And obviously, and the fact that you can't sell your guitar.
Yeah, it makes it hard to sell.
All right, so that's pretty much it. I don't know. This might be like a quick little episode that we're doing. Maybe just dish this out, trying to convince Co on Evertune.
Not
Sell 'em on
convince,
it.
educate.